Hey everybody, welcome to the tutorial. Today we're going to cover how to import 3D meshes, the textures, and also the material files. Now this can be done in several different ways. You can individually import the textures, you can individually import the 3D mesh or what they call the OBJ file or the FBX file for the 3D model. The process also works for sounds, but that'll be a whole nother tutorial I'll cover later. Uh, I've been asked a lot of how to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here and we'll kind of walk through it. So we're going to start with my little tutorial level here, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the content folder, and as you can see here, some examples of some files I've imported into my mod, which is the Conan Isles mod. And as you can see, I got the mod listed here as Conan Isles, which also is the title of the mod here itself. Okay, so let's, for example, you want to import a 3D model building, and I have one kind of here as an example, which is the SIPTA Redwood building. And what I'm going to do is export a model and re-import it here. So I'll show you how to do that. So say you want to customize the model, you want to export it out to change it if you're a 3D modeler or something like that, or you're just getting into it and you want to use Blender to say remove some things or change it up. So what we'll do is we'll go into environments, we're going to go to buildings, and we're going to grab, let's see here, let's find a house from Super Maru would be a good example. So we'll go with this building here, Stygia House 01. So we want to edit this building. What we do is we just find the building here. We're going to right click on it. We're going to go Asset Actions, which is like a little wrench here, and we're going to go Export. And then what you need to do is you need to find a folder on your desktop that you've already started. I'm just going to go ahead and create one, Conan Tutorial. Okay, and let's go ahead and we'll open up that folder, and we're going to save our FBX there. Now what we should be able to do is minimize here, and we'll minimize my other engine. We're going to go into the folder. Let me see if I can find it on my desktop of a bunch of shit here. Let's see here. Conan Tutorial. Okay, so you should have a folder. It's going to have what is Stygia House 1. So it's going to export it to the house that you have named. Okay. So now we have that. We'll go back to our engine. And what we're going to do is we're going to re-import it into our mod folder. Okay. Because now we can't put it back into the main game directory. So now we got to actually import this model into a custom folder inside our mod. So I have a folder called Meshes. I'm just going to right click inside the folder here, and I'm going to go import, and it's going to find my house, or if sometimes you might have to browse for the folder, just open it, and it's going to give you a couple different options here. Okay, and let me see if I can get my window to expand. It's only happy with that. There we go. And you got a couple different things here. Static mesh LOD group, all that fun jazz. What you can do is you can set the LOD group here if you like, or you can set it later inside the engine. Currently it's set for none. I'm just going to say it's a level architecture because it's a house. And we're going to go ahead and make sure all this is good, looks good. And we're going to import and say import all. And it's going to import our model. So now our model is going to come in looking gray. And pretend we just, we experimented on this model. We did some things, we tweaked it, whatever. Now, we can use the game materials, or if you created your own materials and you know how to do that, that's awesome. Then you can just attach those to your model, export it from Blender or your 3D program. But we're going to use these Stygian materials. Now, it's obviously created new materials for us, but we don't need to use those. So if we hit the drop down real quick, we can just go right straight to the actual in-game material and apply it to the model, like so. And now the model's got its textures, it's got its materials assigned, so it's good to go. And that's all you need to do. Okay? Pretty easy, not too complicated. And that's just if you want to export a model, tweak it, use the in-game custom or in-game materials, and you don't need any custom materials. Really simple process. If you do your own, you're going to have to do a little bit more work as far as coming to textures and materials, etc. Okay. So now I've also been asked the question, okay, so how do people import all these different placeables and boats and all these things from the Epic marketplace? Well, it's not simple, but it's kind of simple, but not simple. One is everybody needs to realize that the Conan Exiles dev kit is 4.15.3. So in other words, it works off the Epic Unreal Engine 4.15.3 version. So anything on the marketplace that's sold as 4.15 compatible or lower will work with Conan Exiles. There's a little bit of stuff you got to do to get it work to import it into your dev kit. So what I'm going to do is kind of show you how to do that right now. So if we go to like the marketplace, and this is in my library, so right here it says 4.15 to 4.26. So this is supported engine versions. Okay, so we know that 4.15 is Conan Exiles dev kit. So what I do is I create a new project in my library, which I got right here. I call it Conan Stuff. Okay. So I open up the Conan Stuff, which I already have open right here. And if I open my content folder and bring it down here, you're going to see that I have these ceramic bowls already added to my project. Okay. Now, going back here to our marketplace into the library, my ceramic bowls, all I did is I added to the project the ceramic bowls I purchased, or I think I got these for free, can't remember, but I added them to my Conan Stuff. So it's a 4.15 version of the engine. So you have to have the 4.15 version of the engine installed. Okay, so I have 4.25, 4.26, and 4.15 up here, and then my dev kit is located in the library over here. Okay, so right there's the dev kit, and it's currently running. So if we go back to the engine, we got our Conan Stuff. So I'm going to go back to my Conan Stuff folder. And now you notice over here it's called Ceramic. That's how it installs in my Conan Stuff project. Now, to be able to get it transferred into my Conan Exiles dev kit, I have to do a couple special things. One, we need to create a folder called mods over here under the content folder, which is /game directory. What a lot of people don't understand is references in the dev kit refer to places that the file is being looked for. In Unreal Engine is very delicate when it comes to references. It needs to know the file path to get to that file, and if that gets broken, then your materials come out all gray, your textures come out gray, or you have the checkered board look, is because somehow the reference got broke to that material or that specific item. It can be blueprints, I mean it could be code, so there's a lot of intricate working parts. So what we do is we create what we call a folder called mods, and under that folder I have what I call our mod names. Now our mod names are the mods that you currently have. For instance, I have the Assets mod, which is my Riverboats mod, the Barrachin Isles mod, and the Lost Lord of the Exiles mod. These are the mods that I want the references to reference here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ceramic folder and I'm going to add it to the Barrachin Isles. That folder down to our Barrachin Isles folder. So we're going to actually go here. We're going to say move folder here. And what it's going to do is it's going to move the entire folder and all the references and everything into this Barrachin Isles folder. Okay, so now it should be in there, and if we look it up and check it out, everything's working. We're going to go ahead and we're also going to just right click on the mods folders, and we're going to say fix up redirectors. And what that is just it's going to look for any broken references and make sure everything's good to go. Okay, so far so good. We're looking good there. All right, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and close the actual dev kit, because what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer that folder into our dev kit so we can actually open it up. So give me 1 second and we'll take care of that. Okay, so now we're going to close our dev kit, and then what we'll do is we'll go back here to our 415 project, and what we're going to do is we are going to go here and say show in Explorer. So it'll actually go to the directory where it's at. And let me see. So if we go under mods and we see ceramic, okay, so there's the folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and copy this folder since we moved everything over. And our dev kit's closed, so we're going to go ahead and open up the location where our dev kit is. So I just got to go through my list of drives here and find my dev kit. Conan Exiles dev kit, games, Conan Sandbox, content, mods, Conan Isles. Okay, that's where it's at. And we're going to go to the local folder. And I'm just going to go ahead and paste that folder in over here. So now we got ceramic right there. And the references all should connect together. So hopefully I've done this correctly. I'm trying to remember from memory. It can be hit or miss. Sometimes it works. The references are okay. Other times the references don't make it. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and we will open up our dev kit. So let's get that launched up here in a second. Fun times, library, launch our dev kit, and that might take a little bit, but while that's launching, we're just going to double check here. Let's see, materials. Okay, and so the materials, the way they're set up, it's pretty simple. You got your textures. This is your main, what you call your diffuse texture, your normal texture, which gives you kind of your texture where it kind of bumps out or stands out, so it gives it that look that it's got, imperfections. And then we also have the ambient occlusion, which is another cool thing, but do I know what that actually does? Not really. Something to do with occlusion or occluding, kind of cuts things in and out. I don't know. I'm not a texture artist. Look up the terminology, you might be able to know a little bit more. But these all plug into a certain place on the materials. And like I said, your materials can get broken, your references, if you don't do this correctly, or what can also happen too is, like, say you want to import, you like something in the 426 version of the engine, but it's not built for 415. So you're going to have to actually go create a project, export that item that you want, its textures out onto your desktop in a folder somewhere that you can find, or with your 3D program. Do whatever you want to do with it. Re-import all the models and textures into your dev kit. And then what you're going to have to do is rebuild the materials. And you can basically build very basic, simple materials, or you can build complex materials with different shaders, looks, and et cetera, et cetera. And there's tons of YouTube videos on how to do all that stuff. I am not going to cover that, so I'll never do a tutorial on materials because it can take hours. Materials, unless you're really good at this and you've been doing materials all your career or something like that, or you're a materials artist, then you got a high understanding of it. Me, I just got a basic understanding, and that's plenty. I'm not a materials technical artist. I'm more of the art and world building type stuff. Give me the stuff, the assets, and I'll build you a world. I'm that sort of guy. All right, so let's see here. Our dev kit should be hopefully popping up. Yep, there it is, starting to pop up. We'll close this. Nope, we don't need to save that. We're going to minimize that. We're going to minimize our Conan stuff project. We're going to go over here into our dev kit where we copied our ceramic folder. So right now our dev kit is initializing the asset discovery, so it's reading all the assets in the dev kit. Sometimes you might have to wait on this to do its thing. Let's see, it's finished on mine. So let's take a look. Let's see. There's our meshes. So there's our bowls and stuff that we copied over. Now, hopefully, if I open this, our references didn't get broken. Aha. So there it is. Our bowls are fine. They're drawing in. Textures did not get broke. Materials didn't get broken, so that's a good sign. So everything's plugged in like it's supposed to. So yeah, so when you go to move things in your 415 Conan project folder or Conan stuff folder, just make sure you say move the entire directory. That way all the references are attached. Because if you hit copy, somehow the references will get broken. So just keep that in mind when you go to do this stuff. So here we have it. We have our Branch and Isles mod. We have our ceramics folder. So we have some custom bowls that we can actually go into the dev kit now. And I should just be able to drag these out and place them here in the world. Oops, let me speed up my camera a little bit. And we'll do that real fast. And there we have it. We're placing our bowls in. And they might do this until the shaders draw in. So they might get some funky looks at first. Oops. And there you have it. There they are. So we have our custom placeables, you know, whatever you want to do. The models anyways. That's just to get the model in place. Placeables a whole different tutorial. I am not a placeables type of guy. I might do one maybe later on down the road. But I was really being hammered as far as how do you do this type of stuff where you're importing all these custom meshes, you know, getting these models and placeables, you know, all these different things that people are building. This is how you do that. Now what you can do is, and I'll show you as far as textures are concerned, what I'll do is I'm going to give you an idea how you can do some things. So let's find, let's see, I'm looking for, I have a special one I built. Okay, so my signpost here. What we can do is we go to the signpost, and I'm just going to use this as an example. I want to do a custom image on this signpost. What I do is I go ahead and search to the material, and I'm going to open up the material, and I'm going to find the texture. And this is the most important texture here, which is what is the diffuse texture. And what I can do is go out here, and I'm going to export this texture. So I'm going to go to Asset Actions, export the texture. It's going to go to my desktop. So I'm going to actually put it on my desktop of mess here and save it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is minimize that, open up my program, which I like to use PaintNet. Not Microsoft Paint, but it's called PaintNet. And this is where we can go ahead and we can do something kind of neat. So I'm just going to grab this for, you know, an example. I'm just going to create, let's see, I'm going to use one of these shape things here. We're going to draw a shape here. And we're going to make a little thing here. And for fun, I'm just going to say, I love Conan Exiles. I'm going to get my font is Chrome because I have it installed in my Windows font. And if you want to do something like that, you figure that out on your own. I'm not here to teach you how to install fonts on Windows. So I love Conan Exiles in the Chrome font. And we'll do it in black. And I'm going to go ahead and file save as. I'm going to do it as a TGA. But I'm going to change my signpost to my own texture so I can find it. So I'm just going to call it Snow Hunter. Love, or we'll see. Yes, we'll just call it Snow Hunter Exiles. All right, save that. It's going to save to our desktop. And then what I'm going to do is go back to our dev kit, minimize this. I'm going to go to our content browser. I'm going to go to my mod folder, and under my textures, now you can put this in any custom folder you want, or texture folder if you got one set aside. Whatever you decide to do, you can do that. Let me see here. I'm just going to go ahead and put it into the main directory here. And for this tutorial, I'm going to go import. And it's going to import it, and then I got to open it up and see, oh, there it is. I'm going to hit save, close that. Now, I got the material over here, right? But I don't want to overwrite the original material, so I'm going to search for the material. And I am going to copy it. So I'm just going to drag the original material from the game directory and copy it into Branch and Isles folder. And you can copy it into whatever mod folder you decide to do. But I'm just going to do mine here. So I tell it to go copy here. And then what I'm going to do is go down here to the material itself, because now this is my material in my mod folder. I'm going to swap out the name of this. And so I am going to go Snow Hunter, and it should pop up my texture. And it's going to throw it on this ball of material. Boom, like that. And I don't have to change anything else because all I'm doing is touching the diffuse. I don't have to touch any of these other ones, the maskings, all that stuff. Okay, close these. And then now it's a custom sign, right? So I don't want to change the base game mesh. So in my mesh folder, I should already have a sign built. So I'm just going to duplicate this for myself. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to drop it down to, I think, was it signpost, my material. What did I call that material? Did I call it anything? I don't think I did. Let me see. Let me see. I probably just called it signpost 1. Oh yeah, we got to rename this. So let's rename this. I forgot a step, sorry. So we're going to rename the material we copied over. I'm going to call it Snow Hunter Signpost. Or let's call it Snow Hunter Sign. That'd be easier. Snow Hunter Sign 1. All right, so the material's there. So if we go to our mesh, which I just made a duplicate over here for example. And what we're going to do now is we're going to find Snow Hunter Sign. And we're going to just type Snow Hunter. And hopefully, there it is. Boom. Now it's drawn it on our model. Hit save. So we're going to save that material to this mesh, which is in our custom mesh folder. If we minimize this, we pull it out, flip and turn. There we have it. There we go. We got I Love Conan Exiles right there in front of you. Perfect. All set and done right there. So it's not too hard, but that's how you do the textures. You can do this with any of the textures in the game. If you want to go through and change out icons, change the look of the icons, be my guest, that's up to you. But always remember, though, that you don't want your mod folder to get too top heavy, because once you compress and all that, you want it to be under 2 gigs, because any higher than 2 gigs, it will cause crashes. It does not play well when it's past 2 gigs. Okay, so keep that in mind, because you gotta load these things into memory. So there you have it. It's working just fine. It's right there. Okay. So let me see. I think we covered most of everything. And I'm gonna have to edit this video. So there might be some snippets or weird things in the video. If you haven't seen them already through your watch, you'll see. But basically, that's pretty much in a nutshell. So if you have any questions, just send them my way. You can support me on my Patreon page, and that's how I make more tutorials and stuff like that. I'm sorry I've been a little behind. I'm dealing with health stuff. I am battling cancer, so it's kind of slowed me down. But I do try to get to these tutorials when I can and when I have time, because I'm trying to fix mods, update mods. I'm also working on my own indie game company. So I do appreciate your guys' support and you showing up and subscribing to the channel or subscribing to me on Patreon. Much appreciated. You can watch me on Twitch. All my mod information, all that stuff's on my Steam page as well, for the riverboats, all those mods that you've played or me from. I do appreciate, like I said, everybody's support, and I hope that these tutorials are helping you guys as well. But without further ado, I think we'll go ahead and we'll call it a tutorial session complete. But like I said, any questions, anything that's confusing in the video, just send me a question and I'll try to help you out, or contact me in my Discord. I do have a Discord, and that's the best way to get a hold of me. Try to contact me through YouTube or Steam messages, I'll miss them. So just try to get me through Discord, because the message will be there and eventually I'll get to it. So just bear with me and stuff like that. All right, well, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I will catch you at the next tutorial. Bye, everybody.